This episode of Unstable Discourse contains substance abuse topics that some listeners may find uncomfortable. If you know anyone that struggles with substance use disorder, maybe this will help.
He has been with us now for a week, 7 days, one of the two. Absolutely, it's the same thing. Yeah, I know, guys, it's the same thing. Got it.
Half a fortnight.
He is. That's correct. That's correct.
Welcome in to Unstable Discourse.
Yeah,
I feel like
baby.
I was too loud.
Yeah.
Was that too loud?
No.
I'm doing it again.
You got to do it again now.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Welcome in.
Nope. Reset.
I was
Total reset.
talking over.
Here we go.
Welcome into Unstable Discourse. Ryan, what is wrong with it this time?
Jason.
No,
I'm messing with him.
Jason.
Do another take.
That's funny.
Hit the
That's funny.
button.
All right.
Welcome into Unstable Discourse.
There it is.
There it
That's
is.
the one.
That
Yeah.
was not bad.
On
a little
the fifth
tang on it.
try. Yep.
Little behind the curtains. Yeah, that was my
Spicy
seventh
meatball.
or eighth take on that one.
What were you going with in the beginning?
Was going to talk about the name of your club, which we're gonna. Let me first tell the listeners what's going on here.
Yeah.
It's we're starting
hey,
from the top.
Didn't see you there.
Take it all the way from the top. We're going back.
Oh, I'm going to keep most.
Welcome in to Unstable Discourse, Season 4, Episode 16.
All right.
Damn.
Let's go.
Deja vu.
This feels right this time.
Yeah.
This is
I'm
a
gonna
good
do-
timeline.
I'm going to do something new. I'm going to tell listeners exactly what this episode is about before we introduce ourselves.
Let's do it.
I was listening to another new podcast recently, and every episode starts with exactly what's going to happen. And I think that's a nice idea for new listeners.
Nice.
Right off the top, boy.
Yeah. So this episode, we're going to be talking about a new disc golf league in the Joliet area, Chicagoland area. It's for recovering addicts. So we're going to be talking a lot in this episode about addiction and mental health. And we're going to meet a very inspirational local dude. So strap in. It's going to be a really cool episode. I'm Alex Seminary of Disc Golf Chicago. I'm here with Ryan Fancher of Unstable Disc Golf Gear,
Yes, sir.
Sean Callahan of Delwood Disc Golf,
Yeah, boy.
Jason Callahan of Bag of Tricks.
Your other boy.
Should I be saying Bag of Tricks Entertainment, by the way?
You can do whatever you want, man.
Okay.
Don't let me get in the way.
Bag of Tricks Entertainment, baby. And we're joined by Michael Ferreira, a.k.a. MF.
The boy.
Oh,
MF.
boy.
We'll be the judge of
You
that.
might know him on Facebook as Michael Anthony, and he has corrected me. His name is not Anthony, which I've done that many times already.
My middle name.
Michael Anthony.
But yeah, as I was saying, this we're going to be talking about your new disc golf league, which is it's really aimed at people who are like recovering addicts, and you are a really good person to spearhead a project like that because you've got a hell of a story. We're going to get into that, and we're going to get into sort of like what it's all about, who's this all really meant for, what does it all mean. Some of it's going to be heavy, some of it's going to be a little wild. Some of the stories we rode together on the way here, some of the stories you shared, I was like, people need to hear this stuff. So like I said, strap in. It's going to be a good episode.
I'm hyped.
Let's do it.
For sure.
Mhm.
Before we get into the meat and potatoes of this episode, the nuts and bolts, if you will,
Nuts and butts.
the nuts and butts,
Yep.
if you will, let's just talk more about the Scott Stokely episode. That was fun, right?
That was a very fun experience.
Yeah.
He surprised me. He was far more the intellectual type when we sat down into this episode than I would have expected. Pleasantly surprised. Big Scott Stokely fan now.
Yeah.
Same.
Great dude. Super funny. Had us laughing the whole time. It was awesome.
Seems like a normal guy. Just like a common dude.
He
you
was.
know?
He sat down and it was like he'd been here for a week.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
he was just super comfortable.
Just
like,
instantly in the groove.
yeah, except, I mean, he didn't fit in the basement, but
Oh,
otherwise
my
super
God.
comfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
No, he was ducking.
Gigantor.
Super tall.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun with that episode, and I think I was like a fan before, but now he's like somebody I just look up to as a human, not as a disc golf person. It's like I want to live not exactly like that because I like my house and I like I like my comforts, but his perspective on life and sort of like just being water and going where he feels like he should go, and everything's coming from just a place of love, and like just his outlook was very refreshing. So I want to
Just figure it out. Just
Yep.
there's a solution.
Exactly.
Just do it.
So let's all channel our inner Scott
Just
Stokely
keep
on this
swimming.
episode.
Just
Yes,
keep
sir.
swimming.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming, swimming, swimming.
I love that.
Just keep
Definitely do.
stoking.
Oh,
Just
stoking.
keep
Stroking?
Stoking.
Stroking. Go.
Stroke me, stroke me.
Billy Madison.
I could have kept going.
Billy Squire.
Billy Squire.
Squire.
Is that the name of the
Is it-
artist?
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's also
Is it-
played in Billy Madison.
It is
Yeah.
really? Okay.
Yeah.
When you remember he goes back to high school and he's like he's got his like Trans Am or whatever, and he's like wearing his jean jacket and playing that song, and
For
Yeah.
sure.
everybody in the '90s is looking at him like, what are
Who
you
this
doing?
dude?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what is
REO Speedwagon t-shirt.
Goddamn,
Of
what a
course.
good-
Of course you would know that.
Good piece of
Details.
trivia.
Yeah.
Where did that
Deep
come from?
cuts.
And I'm out.
No, you're not. What are you fired up about?
Oh,
Wait, I didn't even do the fired up intro.
No, let's do it.
River. Let's get into fired up.
Fired up.
Nice. Be going to the red on that one?
Little bit.
Nice. I'm going to start us off.
Red.
Please.
Because I had
Again.
an experience today that made me realize my all-time least favorite thing in life eventually leads to, I think, one of my top 3 favorite things in life.
Is it about the bidet
Full
again?
circle.
No, it's I'm kind of over the hump of the excitement of the bidet. Now it's just water splashing on my butthole. It's nothing exciting
That you can taste.
that I can taste.
Yeah, okay.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
still
okay.
to this day.
Okay.
But
Mm-hmm.
I think one of my and I would agree that most people think this is the worst. One of the worst things that could happen at any point in the day is getting a splinter. They're the worst.
Wow, it's been a minute since I got a splinter.
Paper
I get
cuts
them-
too.
I get them all the
cuts
time
too.
I get them all the time as well.
because of work. I get
Yeah.
splinters
Mhm.
constantly,
Mhm.
and I think we can all agree one of the most terrible things. It's just like when it happens, it's instantly painful, and you instantly regret whatever you're doing that caused it. It's awful.
But I know where you're going.
The ones where you can actually squeeze them out and it pops out like when the
Oh.
turkey's done and it
Yeah.
gets that little like that's the noise right there. That, honest to God, top 3 most satisfying things in life.
Really?
Oh God. When you're working on it and you know it's in there and you're like, it's deep, but I can feel there's something in there, and you just
Mhm.
keep squeeze, and then eventually you get that little and it comes out.
That's what she said.
Like popping a pimple. almost.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
100%.
Do you guys
Yeah.
watch like a lot of pimple pop
Oh
videos?
my
Oh,
God.
you betcha.
I cannot.
I love
That
it.
is
I can't
such
do
a weird. I see that on Reddit all the time, and I
Yeah.
cannot. I can't.
I
can.
can.
Yeah,
I can
watch
eat
a
and
lot.
watch it. That's how much I enjoy it.
I start it, and then I'm like, nope, 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 nope.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all, man.
It'll come across my feed in Reddit, and I'll just swipe to the next video, and I'm like, holy,
Come on.
I've been watching popping videos for 45 minutes.
Yeah,
Dude,
for
Reddit
sure.
just advertises that stuff
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I've had a
yeah.
couple of videos
They're
like that's
like
what made me
doing
think
all
of
that.
it.
I
Actually,
on demand Dr. Pimple Popper all the time, and the girls get all squeamish, and
No,
I'm
thank
just
you.
like, no, I'm in, man. Let's do.
I have a story
let's
for you,
get
but I'm
that
afraid
goiter out.
you might come during this story, but I'm going to tell you anyways.
Well, let me tuck my boner down behind my thigh real quick so I can.
So I was in 6th grade. Sixth grade boy, I'm done.
Yeah.
I was in wrestling for a hot minute, and I was at a meet, and I'm sitting on the bleachers, and I slid over so somebody else like make space for somebody else.
Yeah.
And a splinter went like the full length of my scoot into my thigh.
Oh my God. The full length of my scoot is one of the funniest sentences anybody's ever said.
Yeah.
But sorry,
It
continue.
had
Go
to
ahead.
be like 6+ inches. The whole thing went into my thigh.
Oh my God.
And it was awful. And I remember my dad trying to help me get it out later that night with like tweezers and every like way, and it was so painful. He just couldn't touch it. Like
yeah,
every
when they
time he
get in the
tried to do
leg, it's
something,
hard.
oh
It's
my
got to be something about the
Yeah.
leg because my brother, we were running through a field one time and it was just a stick, like one of those sticks in a field, you know?
Yeah.
It just caught his like whole entire leg, and I swear to God, when I was like
Oh,
probably
God.
10, I wanted to faint, but like
No.
I had to pull it out. You know what I'm saying? Because mom wasn't around, but it just I could still feel it like in my hand, like just
Be a man. You're the man now.
You're a
Yeah.
man now. That's right.
Do it.
Yeah.
shout out to my brother.
So long story short, we could not get the whole thing out. We got maybe like a third of it out,
Okay.
and the rest just it broke off, and it was in there, and then it stayed in my leg for like 15 years.
Oh,
Come on.
And every now and then I would feel it, and I'd be like, man, the doctor said one day it was just going to come out.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, it's never coming out at this point. It's just, I have this for life. And at some point as an adult, I was like, let me see if I can get that
Come
fucker
on.
out of there. And I just squeezed it barely, and it like shot, the whole thing shot
right
out.
out.
No
huh?
way.
That long.
Wow.
It just shot out. And I was like, wow. One of the most satisfying pops. That was 15 years in the making.
Yeah.
And
for
you didn't
sure.
put it on Reddit?
Yeah.
What a missed
Yeah.
opportunity.
yeah.
Right?
I really-
My
I
God.
goofed.
My God, man.
So yeah, I get it. I get the satisfaction.
Yeah, super fired up about the splinter that I got out of my hand earlier today. Yeah.
Well
Top
done.
that.
Thanks. Yeah.
Ryan,
Yeah.
what are you fired up about?
Okay. It's going to get real nerdy. I have explained
God.
this. Yep. I've explained this to people. I'm going to nerd out for like 2 weeks and then it's going to be over and I'm never going to talk about it again. It had been almost exactly 6 years since I had built my last computer. And I've been using it for illustration, for graphic design, for audio work, for all of this stuff. And it was fine. It was working great until I went to do some kind of update. And it was like, your system requirements are not met. And I was like, why? How dare you?
Do you have a question, Kelly?
Yeah, I have a lot of questions. Number one, how dare you?
And then I realized, oh, it's been 6 years. So I looked back to the old PCs that I had built, and it's almost exactly 6 years every single time. I had one from 18 years ago. I had one from 12 years ago, 6 years ago. And I was like, okay, it's time. And it's end of the year. It's on the business. You got to write it off. So I went and picked up a bunch of parts, put this computer together. It's awesome. It is almost as state of the art as you can get at this point. Although it's a futile effort, right? As soon as the holidays are over, they come out with a new processor and whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do. It's a 7900X for those of you that know. I went AMD this time.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Oh, the AMD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great
And,
piece of technology.
automatic manual drive.
Not AMP. Got it.
No,
okay.
no.
Sweet. Sick.
It's like Samsung and Apple is Intel and AMD. It's the same rivalry, although they do the same thing. It doesn't matter.
Totally.
Oh, so one's a piece of shit and the other one's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you get the green bubble
As long
version
as he
or the
thinks
blue
the
bubble?
Samsung is
Yeah,
the
right.
awesome one.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's right.
So anyway, I built the computer. It works great. I'm very proud of myself. But the revelation that I had came when I have an external processing card for all the audio work that I do. A company called Universal Audio, UAD, which is like the Ferrari of audio equipment. They make a lot of really incredible old legacy hardware and some really good software. There's a card that I have that processes the plugins for the software that I use separately, so it doesn't tax the computer. It does it on its own, and it comes with a lot of really high-end plugins that I use.
2 hours later.
Right. You come on.
He said one time. He said he's going to do it one time.
You asked.
Just let him get it out of his system.
Yep.
Go on.
So I tried to put it in the new computer and it didn't work. And I realized I've had that card for a good long time, probably at least 12 years, and it's just probably had it. Right? It was on its last leg. Unplugging it and putting it in a new computer, it's over. It's toast.
Use the leg.
Which is a bummer because I've gotten so used to using all of that audio equipment that I don't know what to do now, right? So I went and I bought some new plugins, some really good new analog style SSL stuff, and some Waves garbage and stuff like that. Any of the audio people will know what I'm talking about, but I'm excited to try it out on this specific podcast to test it all out because it should work flawlessly. All the stuff that I got, I'm super stoked about. It's like Christmas for me. Like
For sure.
getting all of this stuff set up. The computer's brand new. All the plugins are brand new. Everything is all brand new. I have to figure out how to use it again and, what the settings I need and how to make Alex not sound like a tool the whole time. And like, it's going to be awesome.
I mean, that's expensive, dude.
Yeah,
So.
for sure.
I'm
How
trying to
much did
think
that
what
cost
tool
you?
could I try to sound like right now.
So not just a hobby, but it benefits the
Construction
podcast
noise.
too. Yeah.
Construction noise from like.
Yeah. So all the studios that I had worked at all had really incredible hardware that we used. So I never really had the desire or the need to buy my own hardware because anytime I was doing stuff, I would just use what was there. And I kind of regret that because I don't have anything. I have a bunch of microphones, but I don't have any like good hardware, any of the processing stuff, but this will have to do. So 3 hours later, it's over.
Nice.
I can never even begin to understand the things you just talked about, but I 1000% love how much you love it. I'm not joking around. I legitimately, it fuels me up when you get stoked about stuff like that. I feed off of that stoke.
Good. I'm glad. Because in another week, I will put the computer back under the desk and I'll never turn on those like crazy RGB lights that are going nuts. There's rainbows and shit coming out of my computer that I've never seen
You ever
before.
do those computers with the water in it?
It is actually, mine is actually water cooled. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's not one of the like crazy ones with the pumps, but
sure.
it's an all-in-one system.
be.
But
That's
yeah,
sick, dude.
Amazing, yeah.
it's water cooled. It's cool, but when I'm done nerding out, it will go back to work time. Figuring out exactly what processor goes with what motherboard and what to optimize what I need to do, not just to make it work, but to work for me was so satisfying. And having that done, I
Very
recommend
cool.
it. So it's over.
Very, very cool.
That is, it scares me. I have been taking my video work more seriously lately, and I'm just getting more and more like intimidated by how much technical expertise is really required to be a professional. And hearing you say all of those things, how long is it going to take me to understand any of the equipment that I use that well? I don't know.
Yeah, I got a nice PC at home that's just sitting there right now, and all I got to do is just fix the HDMI little port on the back of it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I get so discouraged sometimes with like, because they're like cars, dude. Like,
Totally.
computers are just like cars, and the way you work on them, and I see people when they work on them, they get that same like satisfaction.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
There was like one when I was building it, I was done. I turned it on. It worked great. And then in the mail came like an extra fan that I wanted to put in. And so I shut it all down, and I took it all apart and I put the fan in and I plugged it in and nothing worked. It's just like a car.
Yeah.
Like I was about ready to throw it through the window and start over. And then, I realized whatever I had done nudged something and, something else and then put it all back together. But it was exactly like a car. Like,
yeah.
you go to change your oil and then 6 hours later, you're covered in parts and, you can't go anywhere and,
Right.
same deal. But yeah, it's very satisfying.
Sean,
Yes, sir.
what are you fired up about?
We're coming to you with a special Delwood Disc Golf employee update. If you haven't heard, Mark Babybird Borowski has flown the nest and moved on to a new career path. We wish him all the luck with his future endeavor. Bird, we salute you.
Which leads me to my fired up, which is the new hire, Mr. Ryan Big Cat Stilson.
Ooh.
Is Big Cat going to stick? Is that?
We're doing it.
Okay. All right.
Oh, we're
When
doing
you
it.
said that, I figured that had always been his
I have
nickname.
referred to him as Big Cat 3 times now, so yes, that is official.
Why does it
At
work
least
so perfectly?
every other time I see him, he has a
Like-
cat on his shirt.
That's what I'm saying.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
Done.
yeah,
Done.
yeah,
There's
it's
the
cats
thing.
or fruit. Yeah.
So he has been with us now for a week, 7 days, one of the two. Absolutely, it's the same thing. Yeah, I know, guys, it's the same thing. Got it.
Half a fortnight.
He is. That's correct. That's correct. He is brought a whole new perspective to what it means to be a DDG employee to us. We just can't be more stoked. He's a little bit older than the people that have worked for us in the past.
Mm-hmm.
God, he's just like a self-starter and new energy, new perspective. So happy.
His previous job was he did everything. He was
Everything.
back office. He was stocking. He was front office. He was checking people out. He was
10 years experience at the grocery store. It was he was there for a long time, and
Yeah.
he's happy to get away from there.
Yeah.
He's happy to be with us, and we can't be more.
That's
stoked.
awesome.
But it
Yeah.
shows in the shop when he is not ringing somebody up or talking to a customer. He's over like messing with the discs and
Yep.
putting stuff
Multiple
away.
people have
and,
already kind of told me, like, dude,
Yeah.
vibes were higher when he was in here.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
like
So-
that
I
means
just
a lot.
stopped by to drop off keys to Sheila, and I was in there 5 minutes, and I was like, "Whoa!" I could just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
There
I
was a tickle in the air, man. That I was
Yeah.
just like, and I
It just comes
fueled
with
my entire day just being there
Yeah.
for 5 minutes.
It just comes
Yeah.
with an air of confidence, knowing that he seems to be comfortable what he's doing because he's been doing something like that for so long. Even though it's a new, venue,
Right.
it's all the same ideas. Really, you can see like he's already got it figured out.
God,
Yep.
you
Yeah.
cannot put a price on that.
Oh,
You can't go out and find that.
It's
Like,
hourly. Is what you,
Yeah.
yeah.
It really has given us, like I said, just new perspective of like now what is possible
Sure.
for what we can do with our time. He's going to be working more hours than Babybird was working. So like that frees us up to do more as well on the back end and just use that time for ideas, new stuff, new tournament stuff, things like that. So I can already feel that happening, and it's been 7 days.
It's awesome.
or a week,
It had
Or a
been
week, depending on how you
Or
look
a
at
week,
it.
yeah.
half a fortnight.
1/52nd of a year.
Right.
Yeah, depending on how
One
you
of
look at
those
that.
four,
Yep.
definitely.
Yeah.
It's been 1 week.
You should lock him into like a 5-year contract so he can't leave.
Yeah.
Ooh, should we?
Yeah.
That'd be
I
fun.
was gonna say franchise tag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put the franchise tag on.
Yeah, right?
That dude is 1 in a million. I've only hung out with him a very small number of times, but I know exactly what you guys are talking about vibe wise. He's just such a unique human, and it's the way you feel being around him.
Contagious laugh too.
Yeah,
I
It's
need
like-
to
it's
work
like-
on
it's-
my Stilson laugh. I need to like be able to recreate that. I'll get there.
It's almost Seth Rogen esque.
yeah. There's some
Yeah.
Seth Rogen in there for sure.
Love that dude.
Before we get out of Sean's fired up, I would just like to retract that earlier I said there was a tickle in the air. I don't know where that came from. That
Yeah, that
statement
was-
doesn't exist.
Yeah, it was
I,
weird.
just-
It was good.
I said
I didn't
it.
even
No,
notice
is it?
that you said it.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to
Yeah, no,
highlight
like,
it.
yeah.
Oh,
Ever since
yeah.
it came out, my
Put like
brain has
a-
just been like, dude,
make
dude, what did you
a
what?
glittery
tickle in the air?
a glittery
I can't
sparkly
focus
sound
on anything else.
when he
Yeah,
said that.
right.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
That's
Tickle in
fantastic.
All right, now we can move on.
Michael, do you have something you're fired up about?
Yeah. So there's a tournament out in Ole this weekend. Freeze your bells.
For
So,
those who don't know what Oli is,
Sergeant means out in Olympia Fields. So it's either called Sergeants or Ole. It's what the community calls it. So
Cool kids.
it's going to be
Yeah.
my first sanctioned tourney. I have been in a tournament before. I just recently did the Trinity Links Glow tournament, but it wasn't sanctioned, and I had a partner. So this is going to be new for me.
your first sanctioned tournament.
Solo.
Yeah, first sanctioned
Ever.
tournament.
Oh,
I don't even have a
cool.
number yet. I still got to get my number. Yeah.
Whoa,
Bro.
Yeah.
cool.
You still gotta
how
do
long
that.
have you been playing for?
Seriously playing since 2017, and I've been on and off playing. My uncle brought me out when I was like 5, and ever since then, just something stuck with me.
Sure.
High school, it was the thing to do on the weekends. I lived right down the street from Haynes out in New Lenox, so
Never heard of it. Go
growing
on.
up in a skate park, also a lot of skateboarders disc golf at the times. You always heard about Haynes, so I asked my uncle to bring me out one day, and I just fell in love with it. So I didn't really buy my first disc until 2017, though. I just got
That's when you
community
became
disc.
a disc golfer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So okay, 6
That's
years
when I
later.
stopped calling it frisbee golf and started calling it disc golf.
Speaking of people mispronouncing things, I was texting with Dane Avicii earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't remember what he said, but he spelled disc golf DISK, and I was like, have you played this before?
Yeah.
You're fired from the sport.
We got a first timer here.
Then he admitted to me that he's been doing it on purpose to people just to get their reaction. I was like, you funny.
Come on.
You hit, there's levels to this shit, dude. You hit a certain level and he can do that shit.
Correct. Right. Because I wouldn't believe it from a lot of people.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's super exciting. Who's the tournament director? Who's hosting?
I believe it's Brian Cummings and
Yep.
a couple other people.
I've been seeing him
Is it
post.
to freeze your
about it.
bells
Yep.
off?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
freeze your
Yep.
bells or something like that. So,
Awesome. Yeah, I saw him
Legend.
posting
It's gonna
about
be
that.
some good weather, so pretty excited about it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude,
That's
you're
great, dude.
for listeners who can't see you, you are a thin dude. Are you not afraid of how cold it's going to be that day?
So
It shouldn't be that bad.
no, it's not going to be bad. I think it's going to be like 40 something. But
Oh,
like,
okay.
dude,
Never mind.
I go to
Never mind.
Burcott's in the summertime with my mom to help her sometimes. And like, I can only be in there for like 5 minutes because not only am I skinny, I'm anemic. So like, I can't
Whoops.
I'd rather be hot. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's
you-
really weird with like my story and stuff, which is being on the streets and everything. Like, it's never been a good thing for me. So,
We'll get into that. There's you got some stories that whew, we'll get there.
for sure.
But yeah, Sheila, you can't stand to be cold either. Much rather be freezing cold than,
For
than
sure.
way too hot.
Yeah. All day.
You know what? No, you wouldn't. Right now, you say that. But our good friend and yours, Donnie Longton, has recently lost
Lil
over
Don.
100 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided to play a round of thanks disking on Sunday morning.
Mhm.
And it was snowing for the first time this year.
That's right.
Oh, wow.
And he turned around on like T-Box 5. I think it was hole number 5 and said, "Is this what you guys talk about when you say you're always cold?" And we were like, yeah,
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
Different
dick.
world.
Yeah, this is how it is.
Where's he from?
He's from Tinley Park, but he used to be a very big dude.
Okay.
And he's lost a substantial amount of weight. And with
Yeah,
that has
gotcha.
come the cold feeling, and he's
Mhm.
getting it now. So
Yeah, he was cold by the end of the round.
it was very funny to us because he's always the one that's like, "No, I'm good." He would leave
Yeah.
the sweatshirt on the tee box of whatever hole and go back and get it because he was too hot.
Yeah.
But not now.
Not no mo.
No.
Hopefully I get there. Oh, I'm fired up about
Hey, Alex.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Alex,
Yeah,
what are
yeah,
you
yeah,
fired
yeah.
up about?
Yeah.
Thank you, Michael. It's just you and me from now on. Cut these guys off. I have so many things to pick from, and I am Michael. Come back. I'm
Yeah.
just you and me.
Okay.
I am very, very excited about a video project that I started that is not secretive, but I'm not going to share details until a later date.
He's
No
going to
deets. No
forget
deets
about
yet.
it 3 minutes and he's going to start giving details, but I'm going to bleep it out. So go ahead.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But all I'm going to share with you listeners and you fellas is that is a disc golf video project, and I've never been more excited about a project in my whole life.
Oh, you know what? You mentioned this at the the mid-low leagues. A little bit of it. You didn't, I don't think you mentioned all of it, but I think you were talking about, you asked me about something for like being in a video or something.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
you were talking about it.
I have been flirting with the idea for a long time, and it was like nebulous. I didn't know when or exactly what it was going to be, and then it just kind of started happening. The other
Was
day
it
when I
on your
at Delwood.
vision board?
Not in a sense, like okay.
Your peripheral vision board.
No, on my vision board from this year was an image of.
It's really good.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
That's pretty good.
Damn it! I missed the joke.
I said it was on your peripheral vision board.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Perif.
So no, on my vision board was a Tailwind logo and like an image of a guy with a really professional looking camera setup, and it was just like my reminder that Tailwind is something to be focused on, and I want to be a professional videographer. I didn't exactly know what that was going to look like, so I'm just kind of figuring it out as I go.
For sure.
But yeah, it's happening pretty organically, and I'm not trying to figure it all out at once. I'm just going to keep doing stuff that is fun and exciting, and the potential of it is. That gives me tingles.
Boundless.
There's
a tickle in the air.
There's a tickle.
Like, speaking of the method that it's been happening, we talked about this briefly the other day.
Yeah.
How Lauren Lakeberg just shows up.
Yes.
And then like creates greatness. You have now come to the shop and you've hung out a few times with not really necessarily an outline of the day, but just hopped right into it. And it's been very organic and authentic, and I dig.
I've never done it that way. I'm somebody who I don't want my
parameters.
I don't want my peas to be touching my mashed potatoes, and I need
right.
I need
your outlines need outlines.
Yes. Yeah. And if I don't know exactly what's happening, then I'm anxious. But I've been really liking showing up, and like whatever happens is going to be cool. So just show up and start doing stuff.
Be cool.
So the best stuff comes out.
Moments.
There's stuff that's not going to be cool, and then you just don't have to show that.
Correct. But there's also been things that we didn't plan, couldn't have planned, and they're just happening, and it's like, whoa, the camera was on. That was awesome. I'm excited to continue developing that, and at some point I'll share with everybody. That's what I'm fired up about.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
They just happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's jump to, and I don't know how much you have for the Callahallander rundown.
I have
but maybe
a lot.
Then let's get into the Callahallander rundown.
Shall we?
Get into the Callahallander rundown. This is the December to Remember edition.
Brought to you by Embers.
Every
what is that from? December? Is this like yes, like
that is some
jewelry,
sales.
right? December to Remember.
It's that, or like
K Jewelers or something.
It's like AMC or ABC Family. This will be a December to remember.
No, I feel like it's like
it's a Harry Potter weekend.
These two words rhyme.
It's like a Ford dealership thing. December to remember.
Yeah,
like
okay. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
All of
Lexus,
these examples,
Lexus, yes,
they're all
the
correct.
big red bow.
Yep.
If you're going to wish big at the Lexus December to Remember sales event. See your Lexus dealer.
Yes, December to Remember edition. Here we go. DDG bag tags are back, baby. Get your butts out to one of the highest payout singles leagues in your area. We are currently out of DDG bag tags, but I have them on order. I just spoke with the man today.
Come out and get some. We don't have any, but come out and get them.
You gotta wait.
Just like your local Lexus dealership.
We will have them by 12/9.
Get them before they're gone. Too late.
$10 for that new DDG tag and $15 to play. Rotating layouts at Deli every week. So I've got some more tags, you jagoffs. They're coming.
He's got tags, you jag.
You're going to be here by 12/9. Don't forget about J-Town Bag Tag League as well.
Yeah.
That runs through the winter too. It's another league option different from DDG bag tags. It rotates all the J-Town courses on Saturday mornings, 10 a.m.
They do have tags. That you
11 a.m. tee off. They do already have their new tags. Don't worry. You can purchase one of those tags at leagues 15 for a tag and 10 to play. DDG bag tags and J-Town will play together for 3 weeks in December to remember. On the 9th, 23rd, and 30th, double league option to sanction and double ace pots. Ooh. Right? Follow the J-Town bag tag schedule on jtowndiscgolf.com. No, come on, Pete. They're different website, Alec. Different website.
Okay. I was trying to make a double rainbow reference and I couldn't get there. That's where my mind was. When you said
across
double
the
bag
sky.
tags.
Double rainbow. Oh my God. It's a double rainbow all the way.
Well, who are we going to come on when we say that website then?
I'm not coming on anyone.
We can't, no.
He's
we
a gentleman.
We cannot come
Michael's
on
gentleman.
Jason Poole. We cannot do that.
All right.
We definitely cannot come on Jason Poole.
Consent.
Just for the record, I didn't realize that the joke was like the "come on, Pete" thing.
Yeah.
Until very recently. Like, I did not realize that's why some people found it very funny. I thought it were just saying, "Come on, Pete." Like,
We are.
Yeah.
They're the ones that have their minds in
They're
the
the ones that
gutter.
are making it
I am
gross.
just saying, come on, Pete.
Heathens.
That's what we're saying.
That's what
Okay.
So
most of
don't
us
be
are saying.
dirty.
You did just say we can't come on Jason Poole.
Because that's funnier. Getting back to it
Go
here.
on.
Come on, December to remember. Krampus's ugly sweater flex on Saturday, 12/16. People had been wondering if we were going to be doing ugly sweater. Lots of questions. We are not doing that tournament as a traditional 2-day event. We are going to be doing Krampus's ugly sweater flex. We will have sweaters for sale, right? Right?
We will. Did we determine that it is Krampus's or Crampi?
Crampi.
Definitely cram pie.
Hold on,
If
you're
it's-
talking about
if
plural or,
Yeah.
or ownership?
If it's come on, Pete,
Yeah,
it's
right.
also cram pie.
Crampi.
on
Crampi.
Oh, I regret it. Sorry.
No. So we're going to be doing sweaters. They will be for sale. So if you are a sweater collector, you will be able to get one at the shop that day.
Yep.
And then play the flex. And that would be cheaper by $30 to $35 than if you would have played Ugly Sweater and got a frickin' sweater. And we're going to do photos. Lauren Lakeberger is going to be there that day doing photos. So come dressed up as you have been in the past.
What
Please.
date is that again?
Please.
Saturday, December, to remember. Saturday, December the 16th. The 16th of December.
Boop, beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, boop.
Remember,
I'm putting it in my
remember.
calendar.
Remember, the
16th
16th of December.
Yes.
All right, moving on. Hellwood Season 3 is on. Who's excited? Right?
Let's go.
Calm down.
I am very excited about it.
We're heading back
Tell,
to
by
Hell's
the
Gate
way.
Haunted House for the
The way
third
his
year
voice
in a
sounded.
row, starting the first Friday of January, running for 8 weeks until Friday, February 23rd. Same format as the last few years. Keep an eye out for the Hellwood pre registration that we have done in the past.
It doesn't make sense not to.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to worry about signing up week to week. If you're going to come
Correct.
every week,
Yeah.
then do the pre, save a bunch of bones, do that deal. Don't ever put that in the podcast. Save a bunch of bones, do that deal.
Making up
Save a bunch
lots
of
of
bones.
expressions getting made up on this episode.
Save a bunch of bones and
Do
do
it
that
now.
deal.
Do that deal.
December to remember.
Experience the excitement of the Lexus December to Remember sales event. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
The pre is going to be going live on Friday, December 29th at 7 p.m. on discgolfscene.com. Come on.
Come on, Pete.
Last but certainly not least, you got to give a shout out to our boy Mick McGowan and the J-Town Winter Doubles League that has started back up. It is on Sunday mornings, 10 a.m. sign up, 11 a.m. tee off. It is a 16-week cash payout doubles league that runs through February. Follow the J-Town Winter Doubles League on Facebook to stay up to date on everything happening. Support all the local leagues. Yes.
Dress warm.
Dress warm.
Dress warm.
Yes, it's going to be cold. That was a lot. It is all unofficially brought to you by discgolfscene.com.
Come on, Pete.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I thought you were pointing at the goblets. I was like, those are nice goblets. Pretty nice.
Those are
Wait
nice
a second.
goblets.
You're talking about the goblets up there. So just listeners, most people have no idea what the studio looks like. I love how it's come along over last year. There's a little cutout in the wall where there is a painting done by Nora Bellotti that says "Come on, Pete," and it's got our silhouettes and the logo, and I love it. And it's right next to a vinyl.
Yep.
Of Dolly Parton's Jolene.
Absolutely, it is.
And lined
Given
up
to us by Nick Kaminsky,
That's right.
listener of
Shout
the
out
show.
Nick
Thank
Kaminsky.
you. Thank you, Nicholas.
Both of these pieces of show lore are lined up by 6 goblets. Jason, what's up with the goblets?
They'll find out in a couple of episodes.
Oh, shit.
Stay tuned.
All right, we'll leave it at that. If you know, you know. On the subject of Nick Kaminsky, local dude, I have a couple local routes that I want to do. We haven't done that in a long time.
Wow.
Okay, different music
Bringing it
now.
back.
God,
Different
what is it,
music
season
at this
2?
part now.
First, okay, so I have one
Do
really,
explain.
really positive one, and then one that's it's a downer, but we got to say it anyways. First, the Pinas. Local route shout out to David and George Pina.
Bro.
God, we've talked about how they go to all the events, but they ran Disc Golf Chicago's Sunset Dubs League completely on their own this whole season, and they crushed it. Everybody had great experiences. They just did it the right way. And it's like, well, of course they did, because they go to all the events. They know what it means to run a good event.
Mm-hmm.
They were very generous, not only with their time, but they were donating like CTPs and stuff out of their pocket every week. And just, they made it a good show for everybody.
It's awesome.
So I'm super grateful to those guys, and everybody knows they're the shit, and they seem like they want to do more. So I'm just very grateful to them, and I want everybody to realize like they're awesome. And when somebody goes into their pocket, to use their own time and money to give back to the community, it's awesome. Like it gives so much to so many, and it's like the love that this community is built on. So shout out to those dudes.
Totally.
They're perfect.
Pillars.
And the other is somebody, I don't know all the details here, so please chime in if you guys know. But I'd recently learned that Jim Wagner had passed away.
Yep.
Was that who they were celebrating like recently at Trinity or something? Like
Roller
OG.
Phil.
Oh, Phil. Yeah.
It was probably
yeah,
Roller Phil.
I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
he
passed
was
around the beginning of the month. Yep.
Yeah.
So honestly, I don't know. I don't think I met Jim, if maybe once, but I got to call back to the story where he mailed us a check. He mailed Disc Golf Chicago a donation. Just
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
out of
I do
nowhere.
remember that.
Yeah.
And I was like, where did this come from? Who is this? He was so cool about it. And like, I don't know why or where. Like, where did it come from other than just like love, seeing a group of people doing stuff that he thought was good and wanted to support however he could.
Mhm.
Such a special thing. I don't know the story of what happened to Jim, but my connection to him, my run-in with him was just so positive and sweet, and I'm sure there are lots of other stories like that about Jim.
Yeah, he came out to a lot of our stuff early on.
Yeah, he did.
He was always a great dude.
Yeah, I didn't know the details of his passing, but Greg Miller was a really, really close friend. They were best buddies.
Right.
And I know the relationship goes back quite a few years. So bummer to see Greg, as saddened as he is by the, I just feel bad for him, feel bad for all the guys that knew him better than we did. But, every one of my interactions with Jim was awesome. Every time he was stuffing like 220s into the donation box at the shop for the course and supporting and always talking about, man, I wish I could get out here more and do more for you guys. That type of vibe where like the giving is real. And he'll be missed. He was a good dude.
Yeah. Let his memory be, to always give more than you take. Without knowing him very well, I'm sure that's how he was. I would bet it.
Yeah.
Totally.
On that note, we are going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with the nuts and butts.
We sure will.
Hey, Disc Golf family, it's Andrew Weary with Redemption Disposal and Recycling. If you need a dumpster, we are your go-to local contact. Are you getting a new roof, remodeling your house, or doing some landscaping? Maybe you're just looking to get rid of the old junk to make room for your new hyzer racks and disc golf gear. Redemption Disposal's standard-sized dumpsters are large enough for most jobs. The 15-yard dump trailers are on regular tires and hauled by standard pickup trucks, helping avoid any damage to surfaces, allowing for tight maneuvering, and the compact style helps minimize any inconvenience to homeowners. Our convenient and speedy service is unmatched, all at a competitive price. You can find us on Facebook at Redemption Disposal or email admin@redemptiondisposal.com. We look forward to helping you out with your future projects, but until then, we'll see you out on the course.
And we're back. And something pretty cool just happened.
Insert the sound of my zipper going back up real quick. if you could, Ryan.
I will let you tell the story. What just happened, Michael?
So I was just gifted by Sean and Sheila my PDGA number, something that I've been wanting to get but just been stalling on. So I'm super grateful for this. Now I can use my number in my first tournament this weekend and don't have to pay $10. So I'm super stoked about that.
Yeah.
So,
What's the number? Tell us.
I got number 273860. So almost in 300,000s, which is pretty rad for disc golf. So
yeah.
Getting up there.
I just love that. That's a forever thing.
Hell yeah.
You are
solid
that
number too,
forever.
ending with a 0. I like that.
860.
I mean, not even just the number, but the way that I was given that number. That's super sentimental. So appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
Of course.
I got one tear in my left eye from that. That was a very thoughtful thing you guys did.
Yeah.
So, all right, it is time for the nuts and butts, and we're going to be talking about the Discovery Golf League, addiction, mental health, and all of the things around that. So we're gonna get into some life stuff. This is a pretty personal subject for a lot of people in this room and for I imagine a lot of listeners at home. And it's a thing I think is getting talked about more and more, but it's kind of hard to talk about. It's so personal and it's so scary sometimes that I think people shy away from the subject a little bit, and I don't think we're going to do that. I think we're going to kind of hit it head on. So, Michael, you've had maybe the most remarkable journey of a human that I think I've ever heard. And in a couple different ways. I mean that so sincerely.
For sure.
So first, let's talk about the club, the league, and then we'll kind of get to the origins. There's so many different kinds of disc golf clubs today, and we talk about it all the time, that there doesn't need to be another one unless it's doing something different.
Right.
Like, why not just join one of the ones that's been around for a while? Just another one with a logo doesn't need to exist. Your league has such a purpose that I've not heard before, so it's instantly cool. Are you considering it in your mind? Is it a club? Is it a league? Or how are you thinking about it so far?
It's a club, but I really would want it to be like a movement. You know, like you were saying, there's not really much like this in the disc golf community. There is like recovery communities everywhere. So, I mean, personally, for what disc golf did for me and playing a big role in my recovery, I was like, you know what? Why not start some outlet for, and it's not even just for like anybody that has addiction, but like mental health. I was even, asked by a veteran that wanted to join up too. So anybody, so that it could be just a fun, a start for other recovery communities in the disc golf community.
I think mental health is it's a term that gets thrown around by new disc golf brands or clubs. It makes sense because disc golf helps you move your body, helps you get outside, and helps you connect with other people. So yes, obviously the mental health aspect is always going to be part of it, but recovery specifically there's more to that than just the benefits of mental health. Like,
for sure,
it definitely requires a community of like-minded people who can share experiences that are kind of not everybody has, and it helps to know you're like not alone. You're not going through these things by yourself. And I like that the kind of like recovery communities that exist or that come to mind for me today are like, it's usually like around AA or something where it's like it's really focused on recovery.
For sure.
The way you're going to approach it is like, we're going to focus on like this other thing. We're going to focus on disc golf and like hanging out, but we all have like a shared sort of similar background.
Yeah.
That'll make it sort of easier for people to connect and like work on their goals instead of the whole reason we're being here is recovery.
Yeah. I mean,
there's more to it than that.
Ultimate goal also too is not only just a club, but like I would like to eventually like make a nonprofit out of this from personal experiences in like rehab facilities. I was in Michigan one time in the Upper Peninsula, and we had like a little smoke area, like common area that we can go outside, and I would go outside and there's this little box, and I was like, check this out. Open up the box, there's disc golf, there's frisbee, discs in there. So I asked the director, why do you have frisbees? What's going on here? He's like, oh, there's a disc golf course right down the street that we utilize for just recovery coping skills. When we went out and did that, I saw the benefit really there of what disc golf can do, but also not just playing, but like the conversations that we're having. It's not really hectic during, like when you're just casually playing. So like you're able to conversate while also doing that. And I feel like what made it super special about it was like therapy almost. Like I was easy to talk about anything without holding anything back to say. So
that's where some of the best conversations happen, is when you're like doing something else kind of. That's what I think playing catch with like a father and son playing catch.
Yeah.
It's not about playing catch, right? Like,
yeah,
life is happening. Like,
for sure.
Yeah, what you're discussing, and yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you talked about that facility. That makes me want to like get to, where did this idea come from? The origin of your story, like obviously your origins and sort of like the where addiction started from. It goes way, way back to your roots. But like, let's start with the disc golf element of the story. So you had stayed at different like facilities and like group homes.
Correct.
And, like, you've been working on recovery and like trying lots of different things. The story where disc golf really, like the disc golf flag gets planted in the story. Can you tell us that?
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
I mean, like you said, I first went to rehab when I was 17. And at the time I was 27, 28, just really didn't have any drive to live anymore. Had no insurance, was homeless, and I had relapsed after being clean for probably like a month. But anyways, I had overdosed, and that was the 17th overdose. Ended up going to the hospital and...
Pause. You said that too fast, and I think that's a crazy piece of information that we need to... I need to let that land. So you had 17 overdoses in the course of your life up to that point.
Yeah, I mean, just like that's not even just wild, but like the number of rehabs and just like the number of times I've been in jail and and it got wild, So in the hospital, I was directed to a group home in Chicago Heights. Never been to a group home in my life before. It was a new scene for me. Never really adjusted like the mental health side to like my life. I was always like addressing the addiction. So I was like on the board with it when I first heard about it, but I was like, you know what? I'm close to home. And even if I'm close to home and I don't want to do this, I can just leave. And it was close to where I could go and relapse and, bullshit, basically.
So in the back of your mind, there was a certain amount of, I'm not 100% into this. You were attracted to the possibility of like relapsing if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, most definitely. Like that was probably on my mind more than recovery at the time. So I was at that group home. I probably lasted maybe a month and I already had hopped the fence and I was ready to go and, do what I wanted to do. And on my way up to the metro station, I ran into a disc golf course. It was like 11 o'clock at night. I have no Frisbees. I left all my clothes at the group home.
Your plan was when you like, I don't want to say broke out, but you like snuck out.
Yeah.
And you hopped the fence. And
it was a death wish. Yeah.
The plan was like, come on, I'm going to go use.
For sure. Yeah, it honestly was a death wish. I was just tired and didn't have any drive to live anymore. So at 11 o'clock at night, walking, I ran into Olympia Fields, Sergeant Means Park. Honestly, I've seen no disc golf course before, but like something just caught my eye. I was just like, holy shit, dude, look at this basket. Look at this basket. Like there is potential here. So immediately went back to the group home. I went in through the front door, told them like, hey, I just hopped the fence. I wanted to get high, but I found a Frisbee golf course and, I want to stay now. And the people looked at me like I was nuts, but I was like, I was just like, dude, I found something. Keep me here for a little bit. And even the next day, I called my grandma and I was like, Graham, I just hopped the fence at the group home. I wanted to get high, but I found a disc golf course on the way. Can you take me to Dick's next week to get some Frisbees? Like,
yeah.
And she's just like, what the?
Come on.
Like, like,
yeah.
Before this, you played like recreationally, just like
nothing seriously.
You didn't,
just
like have discs. You weren't a disc golfer. It was just like a thing that you had done.
Yeah,
I used to imagine the people at the front desk are like, oh, he's OD'd several times.
Yeah.
He's kind of on, at his end, but like now he's talking about disc golf. So we got to get this guy some real help. Like he's gone. Yeah.
I remember like when I went in, the lady looked at me and was like, what is disc golf? And I was like, and then I just started explaining what disc golf was. So like that was literally the scene for me. So they looked at me and they're like, lock this kid in a room somewhere for the next month or two and let him figure his shit out. So, but no, it was a super big blessing.
This was 6 years ago?
Yeah, 6 years ago. Yeah.
So as of today, you're 6 years sober from all like narcotics.
I smoke weed, but yeah, I'm still sober from everything that was destroying my life. I don't use anything else. I do smoke marijuana, but I don't drink. I am smoking weed through a doctor's prescription too as well. So
hey, if the doctor said to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like everybody calls it the gateway drug, but like for a big thing for me, it was the exit drug. So it really was something that helped me with like my trauma big time because I'll be going day by day, normal day, and a man's voice will just trigger, a time when I was assaulted on the city of Chicago by an old man. And my mind will be going 100 miles per hour. And when I do smoke my weed, I'm able to not only just like calm down, I don't just like melt out, but like I'm able to break down what happened without
rationalize. Yeah.
So
I wonder what Sir David Cope would think about that. I would love to hear his take.
I would love
Well,
do you know him?
No.
We need to hook you guys up.
Yeah,
is that Big Dave or Crazy Dave? No. Oh, okay.
No.
He sent a really good couple of questions into the mailbag. I don't know if you saw it.
I did.
In the UD Alliance group.
I will make you guys
for sure. Yeah. Sounds good.
Scissor, apparently, because that's what my fingers are. You guys are going to scissor.
I was like, I don't know what we're about to do, but okay.
Strap in. Kobe.
I think you touched on something that's really an important subject that helps to kind of, since your experience is so, I don't want to say narrow, but like not a lot of people can relate to heroin use, essentially,
for sure.
Specifically. But the addiction concept is something that I think way more people can understand, and they probably don't even realize that like how they are is like functioning addiction.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'll get real at this part and talk about like I don't think it is necessarily always a substance thing. I think more often than not it's like an escape thing, and it's like you can kick the use of a specific substance, and like that addiction, that urge to escape is just going to move to something else. I've had periods in my life where I've used a lot of different things. Like I've had chapter where I was using cocaine kind of like more than recreationally for sure. Like, at work and things like that. And there's gambling. I've had like stints with lots of different things, but there's one constant that's in my life has been food. I have a very unhealthy relationship with food to where I am aware of the problem of overeating, and I'm aware of how to fix it. I'm aware of like, I'm intellectually, I get it. But for 30 plus years, I haven't been able to curb the behavior because there's an addiction there. And it's not like a physical thing. It's like it's a mental thing. And it's
a chemical imbalance. That's all it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the same can be said. I know that might sound corny to some people that like, a food addiction, but like I went to Overeaters Anonymous to try to like
for sure
get to the root of it. At the end of the day, like I'm still working on it. It's like a therapy thing. It's like understanding why, like what motivates those behaviors. What are the triggers that make me, even in the moment of like it's 11 o'clock at night, I've eaten plenty of food for the day, I had like a fine dinner, and I'm just sitting there like I might go get McDonald's right now. Then I talk to myself and go, you don't need that. Obviously that's a terrible decision. Do not do that. Okay, cool, I won that battle. And then like 2 minutes later it's like, well, I might just go get a double cheeseburger. And you have to continuously win that battle over and over and over again, because your mind is trying to escape something that is unpleasant in that moment.
Yeah.
And if you aren't super aware of where those feelings, like what triggers those feelings, then you're always going to be trying to escape in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
And so for some people on this subject, disc golf is something that people are addicted to. Like, you've said this before, like how many people do we know that should probably be taking care of certain things in their life, but instead they're spending 3+ hours every single day disc golfing?
Yeah.
Like it's not necessarily just drugs when we're talking about addiction. It's a mental health thing. It's understanding where's this coming from? What am I trying to escape? And without like real deliberate like examining where does it come from and talking to somebody who can help you work through the many, many years of building barriers and like the little mental gymnastics that we're able to do to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine breaking that cycle on your own.
Yeah.
I cannot,
for sure.
I don't think it's possible.
A lot of similarities through everybody's addictions, whether it's food, prostitutes, whatever. I know a dude that was addicted to Legos. Whatever it is, it's all
eating
root.
them?
Not
Stepping
eating,
on them?
Stepping on them?
A masochist?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of both. But it's all comes down to the same thing. It's a chemical imbalance of the brain. You just need to find something to be more addicted to that's positive, like working out, or therapy can be something that you could be addicted to and still get benefits from. It doesn't matter. And like you said, it just suffices to one thing to another thing. So,
there's so much conversation that needs to happen, obviously. Like here we are deep diving, right? So I can't help like my getting back to the league concept, and we've talked on Messenger and we've gone back with ideas, right?
Yeah.
I can't help but think that there's gotta be, not gotta, that's the wrong word, but there should be a way that you could incorporate this type of activity, not necessarily make it AA, NA based or anything like that.
Yeah.
But how do you integrate these conversations, even if they are short, into also playing the game and finding some way to use talking about it as therapy when people who are struggling are getting together to play the game too?
Yeah, you can't just, okay, now say one thing about yourself before each drive. Like,
yeah.
Because
like
that's becomes inorganic.
That's what we do. We kind of spitball ideas, and I would just love to sit down more with you and like come up with what that could look like.
Yeah, for sure.
Or tracking how many days sober all of the players are. There's so many things that you could kind of integrate into the tracking of it, right?
Yeah.
That is the fun. Doing the Facebook posts after we run events or flexes or leagues, the things that Sheila does with the graphics and stuff like that, the tracking of it and posting about it, I think would work so well in that setting.
Yeah.
where it's I'm so many days sober, and we're getting through another week, and that will be so beneficial to everybody that's coming out.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah, like you were saying, picking back up a little bit off that. For instance, one idea I was thinking about, like how they do chips in AA, do disc. You know,
Yeah,
somebody
we
has
were
an
just talking
anniversary,
about chips.
do a commemorative.
You got some chips?
I got some chips. Yeah, maybe we'll
Maybe
do
that's the purpose of those chips, dog.
Maybe they are poker chips. We don't want to encourage gambling.
Maybe we can get some new chips.
Can you talk about your process of really what disc golf has done? So you found the disc golf course, you went to play, but that doesn't automatically kick any of the troubles that you were having.
Right.
So how did you transfer from your addictions and your willingness to just let it all end
For sure.
to disc golf in a positive way?
So when things started really clicking and like the pieces started falling in place was like meeting actual people from the community. The community, honestly, like is amazing. The disc golf community, you know, I met a couple of people and those people just started throwing with me on an occasion, just randomly went up to the course and ran into people and started throwing with them regularly. They mentioned how they do with these leagues and stuff and like how there's a club out of there. So I started going to the clubs and really like going to the clubs and stuff really put myself out there. I'm very introverted. I don't put myself out there. It's very hard to like talk, especially talking about my own shit. So
you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Keep it up.
Thank you. Going to those clubs really was like what immediately drew me to what disc golf had to offer for not just me, but like also other people too. Not just like having friendships and everything, but I found that I could go there and like openly talk about anything and not be looked at like I was crazy. You know, or like
the disc golf community is a good place for that.
It really is.
There's
dude.
almost definitely somebody with more weird shit going on than you've had.
Everybody that I've talked to, like literally is like I've met them in like a past life. Like I've known them all my life and like we're just picking up back where we last started, even if it's like a first like meeting conversation. So
yeah. That's funny that you mentioned that because going down to like Bowling Green, you know, around here, we know enough of everybody where you kind of gravitate to the people that you know better. And if you're on a card with people that you don't know, like you have something in common because we're from this area. But going down to Bowling Green and meeting up with people I've never met before within, 9 holes, like you're talking with these dudes like you've known them since you were 4 years old.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And it's unbelievable. And I don't think that's something that really a lot of people can grasp until they experience that.
Yeah, I've played out of state, before. And it's like I met locals out in Michigan before when I was out at a rehab, like I was saying. And it's like I knew these dudes. Like, I've never been to that area, never went. I don't even remember the course name, but the people were just very welcoming. And it was like, I knew these people all my life. So that was like what really initially started it for me. Not only just like the openness and the friendship and camaraderie, but like there's a lot of people willing to help out in that community, in the community as well. My first leagues I went out to, I had a buddy of mine, Pat Donnelly. He paid for my league for me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the money at the time and I tried to pay him back for it, but he just took it as a no. And that was just super cool to me. When I didn't,
That's
I never
old
had
Pat Donnelly. Yes,
I was gonna say it could
old,
be Pat
not young.
Yeah,
righty Pat Donnelly. Yes.
Yeah.
Because there are two. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, shout out to Pat though.
Yeah.
But
by the way, the younger Pat Donnelly has a nickname that I think Jason would just freaking love.
what is it?
Yeah, what's that?
P-Don.
Oh, that's a good
That's
nickname.
awesome, dude.
Damn.
That's sick.
Too
That's
late to
sick.
change my name?
Yeah.
Probably is. Yeah.
Jadon?
Yeah.
J-Don. Ooh.
Oh, it was right in mid.
You just got Jadon.
Yeah. Oh, it almost went up my nose. Go ahead.
So yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to
Yeah.
cut you off.
So no, but not even just that, but like recently with this whole club idea, this is something I've just been thinking about since I've been in the group home, just like randomly thinking about, because like I always would tell like I have my NA and AA buddies that I have, they're always like, they don't see me at meetings. And I always tell them I go to my own meetings now, like I go out and play around. That's my meeting,
Yeah.
After therapy, I'm always at the disc golf course because I could have the most wildest therapy session and just not know what I was rambling about. And my head could be going a million miles per hour, but just going out and throw just helps me collect my thoughts.
How often are you doing therapy?
I do therapy every other week. So it varies. It just
Same.
depends. If it's really good in life, I like to just talk, When it's bad, it could be every other week, or I can just message my therapist and she'll just be, right there for me. So
I love that. I do therapy every other week as well. And I think a lot of people think that the key to getting their mental health back on track is like prescriptions.
For sure.
I think prescriptions are kind of like the Band-Aid
Yeah.
to help you get to level ground.
Most
It's
definitely.
like the bridge. But the idea is to solve what's at the base.
Yeah.
And if you're not talking about it, and if you're not getting some, behavioral sort of coaching, essentially, those prescriptions, you're gonna be on them for the rest of your life, and they're not solving the problem. They're just covering up the wound.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I came up with, I was trying to say with the club ideal, I posted on Facebook about it, not knowing what I was going to get in return. But I mean, I was just overwhelmed with all the likes and just the, people commenting that, want to participate or just wish that something existed like this, so it's just, it just really amazes me. And I've not only like on the Facebook, like on the whole social media thing though, I talked to a dude that's out in St. Louis that runs the Dark Ace and Georgie.
Yeah.
Cool dude. Super cool dude.
Super
He
cool.
actually, the reason why I decided to do the club, I was talking to him at the Clash, yeah. And he's like, dude, come on, do it. Like, you got a dream, go do it. So that's really what urged me to do it. There's actually I think there's a league going on out there that he said something about a buddy of his was talking about getting this together too. So it's like, there's nothing like this out there, I don't really think. So it's just a new ideal that I wanted to just lay down a foundation to other outlets to not just help the disc golf community, but like help actually like just the community in general. I'd like to like push this on to like into a nonprofit and get baskets at like group homes, halfway houses, boys and girls clubs. I always see like basketball hoops and stuff there. And I'm just like, man, a portable basket. This is something new to offer. That's one thing they preach in recovery is coping skills, coping skills. And I think that's a perfect outlet to get some coping skills going. So
you're on to something. I mean, there's no question that you're on to something really, really cool.
For sure.
And we at Disc Golf Chicago, we went through the process of setting up a nonprofit. I would love to, offer whatever we can help in terms of just that process. It's not very hard, but we would love to help.
No, I take
I'll tell
it.
you
Yeah.
that we have donated a few baskets to halfway houses, and I have never felt better about the kind of work that we've done. Of all the things we've done, I've never even talked about the fact that we've donated baskets to like some halfway houses.
Yeah.
That's maybe the most special feeling I've got, because it's beyond the baskets, right? It's like we keep talking about how it's not just playing disc golf.
Mhm.
It's the community, it's the self-improvement, it's the sense of like belonging and purpose, and it's the lifestyle, it's all the things. It's not just throwing a frisbee. It's like,
it's hope. It's just, if one person that at that place that you donated it to picks that up in the same way that Michael has, check.
Yeah.
Goal achieved.
Kids especially, dude. I'd like to really aim at kids. Look, if I like Frisbee Rob, I always watch his like little videos he does at the schools and stuff. I read the comments, all the parents that comment on it, how positive of an experience it is, because he's always bringing, it's not just frisbees. He's actually like talking about life issues with the kids as well, so it's like, it's super cool. I think that's rad, and why not?
Yeah, I love it so much. It's especially the fact that you want it to be for people who are not just, in recovery. It's for anybody that's looking for more.
Yeah.
And willing to put themselves out there, get involved, and whatever that looks like. There's no way to grasp the ripple effect that can come from this kind of thing.
But also what you were saying, not just for disc golfers, but for people outside of the sport, to bring them into the sport so they can experience what you did with the community that is around disc golf that, maybe these people have never had or never understood that it existed in the first place.
Yeah.
Where you can show up to a place and play a game that is
for free,
essentially free, and become lifelong friends with people in a day. And I think it's not the sport, it's the people, but having the sport is like the vessel to get you to that point.
Yeah.
It's like therapy within the therapy.
Yeah.
And also, I got to say that for you, from your perspective of like starting this thing, what's great is that you are entering in a realm of like a bunch of other people that will help you get there.
Most definitely.
The more you talk about it, the more we've talked on Messenger, we're talking about it now. I can't help. I'm in like idea mode because it's like off season.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to be throwing a lot of stuff your way of like ideas, things that we can do,
and I need that
we can all do to help to make that happen, because it really feels crazy important.
Yeah.
Crazy important.
not just important. It would be a real sin, which I'm not a very religious person, but I'm very spiritual.
For sure.
I think it would be a sin to not do this thing because somebody who has OD'd 17 times, you're here for a reason. Something is keeping you here. You've had experiences that other people can learn from, and you can redirect a lot of lives by doing this thing that feels right to you. It feels organic.
Yeah.
You can't ignore that, dude.
Yeah.
You have to follow through on this.
No pressure, Jesus.
No,
Yeah, right.
Dude,
But also, like, it has to be you. Something like this has to be done by someone who has walked your path.
Yeah.
Yes.
That can relate to all of the people that need it the most.
Yeah, and it's like that's like my biggest drive right there is not even just at like for the disc golf community, just like and not the community alone, but like it's something that I'm very driven and passionate about. When I moved out of the group home, I was sat down by the administrator about how important this was for me to get this right, not only just for my life, but also for like the community of other people that are recovering that can't go out to other outlets or NA or A or can't afford like a halfway house or something. You know what I'm saying? So
right. No, that's significant.
It's huge.
That that they understood as well.
Yeah,
that's great.
You were telling me in the car that you're involved in like a fairly new program, right? Like,
yeah, the state program.
It's like a state program that like you're in a sense like you're kind of a guinea pig, and they were like they said to you got to get this right for the state, for like to show that like this thing works and other people can benefit from this program.
And it's not even like a bad pressure, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't even look at it like pressure. It's just something that I've come accustomed to do, but also is just like it's not only just benefiting other people, it's benefiting me. So, you know, that's
I think it's also like what Scott Stokely was saying too, is like you can't really come on up.
Like just keep doing it.
Doing anything is going to be far better than not doing anything at all. And if it doesn't turn out right immediately, it's going to, because you're going to get there.
Yeah.
Right.
What I keep thinking about is sports. Like let's say football game.
Sports.
The team is let's say the Bears, for example. They're getting their asses handed to them the whole first half.
That sounds right.
Like normal.
Right. Yeah. Relevant
so far.
You go into the locker room, coach gets you fired up, they go back out, they have a killer second half, they win the game.
Yeah.
You're 33.
Yeah,
32.
33.
Close to the halftime of your life.
Yeah, I'm realizing that. Get in there.
Yeah. And you have an opportunity to win the game, dude.
Yeah.
Like the first half, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're 75 and you want to start over. It's like it's never too late to redirect and win the game.
Yeah.
That's such a cool concept.
Yeah, for sure. So one day at a time.
That's true.
I literally just take it like that, one day at a time. And I could use any and all help, you know, so I'm fairly new to all this. I appreciate Sean's help, you know, that you've been really helping me out a lot with that.
Yeah.
Got a couple of things that I need to get aligned for, and I'm just pushing to hope for springtime, get this going, you know, so.
Hell yeah. You have all the resources. I'm sure people will be reaching out, but everybody in this room will also, we just desperately want to see this thing work and be awesome.
Yeah.
So,
thank you guys.
1,000,000%. That was a lot, and it was all awesome, but, I'm going to take some of the work off of us now and pass it over to our fans.
I would like it if you were to say that it's
mail time.
Mail time.
Mail time. Yeah. Nice.
Jason, let's get into the mailbag.
I don't want to do it now.
We're on Instagram Live, by the way.
We're live.
We're going to do it.
We might
David
do this.
Cope. I don't know if you're watching.
We'll do it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
Listeners, by the way, if anybody tunes in and you want to ask a question, let's see what you come up with.
Feel free, but I shouted out David Cope because he has our very first question in the mailbag tonight.
Nice.
Strap in. It's a little wordy, but I think it's going to be worth the wait. When you are unable to disc golf, what tactics do you use to keep yourself from getting intoxicated? Is the urge to get intoxicated worse during the gray winter days? Also, are you sober from all intoxicants or just ones that hurt you the most?
Can I read that?
Yeah, for
sure. There's 3 questions.
Yeah, I'll go back. When you are unable to disc golf, what tactics do you use to keep yourself from getting intoxicated?
I spend a lot of time with my fiance and my family. I also do utilize my library a lot. So I do like to go and, you know, check out books and use their media lab. I also watch a lot of TV
For sure.
because at the moment I'm very blessed to not have to work right now. So to be honest, a lot of my time is spent in therapy and just revolves around like my recovery community right now, which is my caseworker and just like all the workers throughout the state of Illinois that are helping me out right now.
That could be a curse and a blessing, honestly, because if you weren't using that time well, then you would have all this idle time to like, it could easily go wrong.
For sure. Yeah. My biggest thing is like I have a routine. It's always set and my days are pretty repetitive, but like that's what keeps me solid right now because there's not enough hours in the day. So I think about it, if I get like 3 or 4 things that I can like contribute into my routine, that's pretty much most of my day right there. So, just waking up, cleaning the house, doing the dishes, taking care of the cat, and going out and disc golfing. I disc golf all year though, so that's the messed up thing though. Is like I really do disc golf in the wintertime and like I disc golf at night too. So but outside of that, that's what I use.
Well, that lends itself nicely to the next part of the question. It says, is the urge to get intoxicated worse during the gray winter days? Would you say that's true?
No. Because like honestly, a lot of my relapses were just triggers of it being a nice day. And like I just didn't have the right coping skills at the time to like go and enjoy a nice day. Sun was out, I was getting high. But there's also that contributing factor because there's a lot of inside time. So I do have to utilize those inside coping skills, whether it is cleaning up and watching Netflix all day or playing some video games and working on my computer. So,
and then his third question, you kind of answered it earlier. He said, are you sober from all intoxicants or just the ones that hurt you the most? And you said,
earlier I said that I am sober from everything that was hurting me. So alcohol, heroin, crack, meth, and I do smoke weed, but with the doctor's prescription.
Nice. Next question is going to come to us from Andy O'Day. The first thing he wants to do is the mortgage pro. The first thing he wants to do is thank you for the courage to just get on the podcast with us and discuss the topic.
I know you had to sit next to Jason. That takes quite a bit.
Balls of steel.
Isn't that bad?
This dude's got a lot of courage.
What makes a king out of a slave? Courage. What makes the flag on the mast to wave? Courage.
And he congratulated you on your 6 years sober.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I don't know why I did
Why
that.
are you
Sorry.
taking Andy?
You hear
Andy
thank you,
O'Day.
and it's just the next thing that comes out of your mouth.
You are welcome.
Sorry, Andy. I'll say it like Andy. You're
It's like
welcome.
you just stole someone's high five.
Yeah, I did. Sorry, he's not here. He has a multi-part question. We'll break it down as best we can. So he says, finding the right avenue to recovery is so important. Some people find solace in religion, some in therapy, some in sports. There are tons of positive ways to fight addiction and stay sober. What else did you try before disc golf to help you get sober?
What really clicked for me this time was therapy, so clinical therapy, and also working with a clinical staff, such as like a psychiatrist. I see an MD regularly too. So that is what I really grasped on this time.
So the second part is he asked if those previous things worked for you. Would you say no to that? Like this was what clicked, or would you say yes to that?
So what really, to pick up back off that question, in the past, I have used like NA, AA. I've done like religious based programs before. I really have like grasped on everything, and I really don't have anything negative to say about any of those fields. It was just personal reasons why they didn't work. But I would say what really helped me this time with the clinical staff and therapists and everything was that I was more focused on me, whereas the other aspects were group settings, So I really, really do encourage anybody that is trying to get help to focus on themselves and also look at the bigger picture that, the drugs or whatever mental illness is not just the only problem, but there's a root to the issue as well, too.
Come on. I love that answer because the other programs that you talked about are like a one size fits all.
For sure.
It's this is the answer for everybody.
For sure.
It's not. Getting to the root of what happened in your life and understanding it.
Yeah.
That's how you can make sense of it and start to fill the hole. You can't just fill the hole with the same prescription. Jason, calm down.
That's what she said.
You
I didn't say anything.
I really
can't necessarily
really
fill the
do.
hole with the same one size
For
fits all
sure.
solution.
Yeah. There's a lot of stigma outside, but there's also a lot of stigma inside that if you don't do it this way, that it doesn't necessarily work. And I'm not going to lie, this time I've kind of been going against the grain with like what people usually say to do. And honestly, this has been working for me. So that's like another big reason why I want to get my story out there, and also this club out there, is to show that there is other outlets and other, roads to not only just getting help but saving your life.
Disc golf and psychiatry and therapy.
We're of the generation that finally realized the importance of individuality.
Yeah.
Whether it is from education to recovery, it's all about like realizing what the person needs and not what the whole needs.
Well, it seems super difficult to me because in a group setting, you can always focus on what everyone else has a problem with and what you think they should do, rather than trying to focus on yourself, which, you could call that selfish, but in a good way. But like, I think that's very hard for people to grasp onto. Why should I take care of myself when I can try and help someone else?
For sure.
And
Right.
it's easier to project that onto someone else and focus on the total group issue, rather than I'm going to work on me and I'm going to focus on me and I'm going to make it about me.
Right.
And that, I think that's very counterintuitive for a lot of generations past. And I think you're right. It's coming to that point where we are realizing that you can be selfish sometimes, and that's okay.
And that's okay. Yeah,
You
for
need
sure.
to be sometimes.
Yeah. Next question is from Joseph Bennick.
Joey Three Putts.
Joey Three Putts on Instagram. He says, from 2008's Academy Award-winning coming-of-age film Juno, how do you always snag such awesome guests? And I'm going to go ahead and answer that one on behalf of the team, because I was listening to a podcast very recently where Steph Curry was being interviewed.
Oh, yeah.
And he said something that blew my mind, and that is iron sharpens iron. And that's why we have such good guests on our show.
That's awesome.
I
like that.
By the way, you sent me the recommendation to listen to that episode, and I loved it. But thank you for that. You said that there was something in there that reminded you of me, and I kept waiting to find like what is the like. I was like, hopefully it's cool. I kept waiting for the what made Jason think of me? And when he said iron sharpens iron, I was like, I bet it's that.
100%. That's
And
what it was.
I say that all the time. At my job, I say it all the time.
It has stayed with me. Like, it unlocked something in my brain when I heard it, and I was like, whoa, that mindset is like fantastic, because it's not about being great. It's about recognizing greatness.
Yeah.
And that completely changes the whole concept of greatness.
Dude, you
when
are
get
the
off
company
of the
you keep.
solo.
Yeah.
So
peak.
meta.
Yeah.
You are the what's the expression is like, you are the combination of the 5 people you spend the most time around.
Show me your friends, I'll show you your future.
Shit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, what a bummer.
Sorry, dog. Sorry, dog.
I will.
You got your stuff.
hands up 1,000,000%. Like, I've gotten so much cooler since I started spending time around you guys.
That I can agree with.
Yeah, that's
I know it. To
That's
be true.
correct.
Checks out.
Love you.
So we kind of dove into some serious questions when we got into the mailbag, but that's not all that was submitted.
Are you trying to say that Slauson's question was not serious?
That was not serious, and also not going to get asked. Suck it, Kenny.
It was funny though.
It's way too much.
It was funny, Kenny.
But to get on the lighter side of things, we are going to ask the question that was submitted by Jackie T. Horns himself, Jake Thorns. Would you rather have all of your memories of The Office erased with no means of ever watching it again, or would you rather keep your memories of The Office but be swapped into an alternate reality where the show was never created, so everyone thinks you're nuts and no one gets your jokes or references?
Easy answer.
Can I answer this?
For sure. Yeah.
Because I feel like that has happened to Jason, and he has seen a show that didn't exist. Because a lot of his humor is just so far away that you're like, where did that come from? You watched a sitcom in the early 90s that didn't exist.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yes,
so...
that is the case.
It was a spinoff of Three's Company called Four's Company.
Oh, right.
Nobody has ever seen.
Yeah.
Option
Except
number
for me.
2.
Yeah.
Across the board.
Lugal.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's Lugal.
So Phil, if you want to find like a, like porno or a restaurant review or anything like that, you use Lugal?
Correct.
Google.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. If
right.
if no one else knew The Office existed, I would take all the jokes and pretend those are my
were your jokes.
That's what I would do.
Scott.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
So on that same note, are you familiar with the movie called Yesterday?
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same concept, but it's about somebody that gets hit by a bus while riding their bike and wakes up, and the entire world does not know the Beatles existed, and he's the only one.
Oh.
And he was a struggling musician prior. So then he's like, okay, nobody knows the Beatles exist. Watch this.
Oh,
so then he becomes
Great movie.
instantly famous because he.
What is this on?
Absolutely fantastic.
You know if it's on
I believe it's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but definitely search.
I'm pretty
it
sure
today.
if it's not on there, I can rent it
digitally
on there, you know,
quote
so.
you on that.
Yeah,
It's very good.
It's out of this world good.
it reminds me of the Paul Rudd. I think it's a Paul Rudd thing where I think it's him and Fred Armisen maybe, where they have like a running joke back and forth where they like pretend that
they pretend that the Beatles are new to each other
they
each
pretend
time.
On the talk shows.
That's
so
best.
I did that to Sheila the other day when we were in the shop. Nirvana was on, and I was like, "Have you heard this band?" I was like,
"That's awesome!
They're so good."
Yeah, super underground. Next question. We're gonna go super meta here. It was supplied by one Alex Seminary. But the only reason that I'm going there is because it is a fantastic question as far as I'm concerned. Isn't it time?
I almost did this as beef instead of putting it in the bag.
Oh my God, this is we're very aligned on this, buddy. Don't you worry.
Good.
Isn't it time we made inflatable decorations illegal? And I could not agree with that more with regards to Christmas and Halloween, both. They can absolutely jump off every bridge. I hate
They're cringy.
inflatables.
Super cringy.
I feel bad with this opinion because they're so popular. When I walk my dog, I'm going past 10 or 15 of them in my neighborhood on one block.
It's lazy.
That's the thing that's the first part that irks me.
It's lazy.
I don't see the difference between that and the shitty plastic reindeer. It's the same amount of effort.
No, it is not the same amount of
No.
effort.
That's correct.
No.
It's the same amount of effort. But
yeah, it's not lazy. You have to actually plug in the blow up shit. You can just set the plastic reindeer that you got in 1967.
It sets an expectation that 4 of those in my yard is now Christmas decorations, and it took all of an hour to accomplish.
Well, okay.
The joy of Christmas decorations is the amount of time that it takes in order to do it. It shouldn't take an hour and have 4 things fill up your yard, and now you've got a Grinch, you got a Nightmare Before Christmas, you got a Santa and a reindeer, and look at us, aren't we festive? No, get out of here with that.
Yeah.
Put up the lights. Put up the small things. I'd rather see somebody took the time to put up the 12 plastic reindeer in the Santa sleigh and all that stuff instead of just 4 inflatables that fill their yard. It's terrible. And it's lazy.
I think if they left the inflatables going all day, it wouldn't bother me half as much. But it's the fact that
they're on a timer.
Yeah,
it's like laying in the yard.
Yeah, you just have this condom laying on the grass.
100%. Yes.
And if you have more than one,
and that's why when I see them,
you
like
never
that
see them
in their
like
yard,
perfectly up either. They're always just like limp,
right?
You know.
When I see them all limp and in somebody's yard, I will pull over and them. Because that's basically all it is.
Yeah,
that's basically all it is.
Y'all heard that.
He said pluck them out of their yard.
Like if the rest of the yard has real decorations in it, I'm less annoyed by it. But if I ever just see the empty bag laying in the grass, I'm like, it's such an eyesore.
It is.
And then Len Mason says inflatable decorations, no. Inflatable costumes, hilarious.
Yes,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Where's the thing when it's deflated?
Especially when it's a little kid.
That's the next Halloween.
Yeah.
The
deflated dinosaur. Yeah.
Inflatable.
All right. The deflated inflatable.
I'm back on board with the inflatable.
Yep. Yeah, we're bringing it. Yeah. That's the thing. That's the thing.
Full circle.
And whoop, 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 zip. That is the end of the mailbag tonight. And we're done with tonight's question.
Sound effects.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for tuning in for the live stuff. If you guys liked it, let us know. Maybe we'll do more of it. Peace. All right. Thank you, guys. That's a wrap on the mailbag. Thank you for all your comments. It does make the show more fun for us to do. So
absolutely
appreciate you guys getting involved and helping us make this thing fun. And yeah, we covered a lot of really good stuff, both from your questions and from just what came out of this thing organically. So Michael, thank you for being here.
Appreciate you guys having me.
It means a lot. It really means a lot to me personally. I think it means a lot to everybody here.
For sure. Thank you, guys.
And yeah, if this helps one person, then it's amazing. So
totally worth it.
Until next time, guys.
You say keep it on the fairway.
Keep it on.
I feel like there's something else.
There's not. Just say keep it on the fairway.
All right.
Alex, tell them what to do.
All right, guys. Until next time, keep it on the fairway.
See ya.
Y'all be good.
On the next episode.
Bye.
Unstable Discourse is produced by Sheila Callahan. Edited by Ryan Fancher. Beats provided by Alex Seminary. And produced in association with Unstable Disc Golf Gear. Look good, feel good, play good.
Unstable Discourse is a Top Secret Studios production, baby.
I think you can do the whole length of it.